Hi, welcome back to OT in the Real World. I'm Lauren, an OTA. This is Kim, an OTR. And today we're going to be talking about reversals and kind of answering general education teacher questions.
Yeah, when we met with the general education teachers where we work, they had a lot of questions, and one of the most common things is what could we do about reversals? Reversals in handwriting and letters and in numerals. And I think that, to me, that question falls under the category of one of the hardest things to just answer in a couple minutes like that.
Yeah.
That is something that comes up that I think needs a lot more investigating, maybe ruling out. So we can't really speak to like learning disabilities or other kind of underlying issues. But what would I say to a teacher who's just asking me, like, what can I do to help kids in general that are having issues with reversals, or here in California we call them tier 1 interventions. So what are some just generally good ideas that would work for all students, and then maybe you can start to see if they're going to help the student.
So just telling them to stop doesn't work?
No, unfortunately.
You can't just say do it right?
Knock it off is not going to work. Exactly. So without having to do a whole evaluation, what might just help and maybe indicate if the problem's going to get fixed or if it's going to need to go to a deeper level. So there's a few ways I'd approach reversals, right? One thing is certainly you can just try and use a model. So you can refer them to like an alphabet line that's maybe up around the classroom, or put an alphabet strip on their desk. That might presuppose that they understand the difference between, say, B and D when they're looking at it on the alphabet.
There's also a visual I've seen too that's it's like it says bed, so then you could put that on their desk right in front of them, and it's kind of not as intrusive as a whole alphabet if that's their problem, the B and the D.
And you can make that with your fists too, and so make your bed B and D that way, right? But maybe more an OT idea is just teaching directionality. And how would you do that? Well, I'm thinking you're doing some right and left, maybe drills and exercises in your classroom.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of teachers will say, if you can hear me, clap your hands. Well, maybe you could say, if you could hear me, raise your right hand. And what I would suggest is if you're doing some of these, maybe you just stick with one hand or the other. So you're going to stick with right or left initially, because you're really trying to help the student that already has a problem. So if you're already mixing it up and saying right, left, right in an unpredictable pattern, they're probably going to get even more confused. So wait a minute and just see how they do with that. Jan Olson in Handwriting Without Tears taught a technique of every time she greets her students, she puts some scented hand sanitizer on their hands and shakes their right hand and talks about, hey, this is my right hand. I shake hands with my right hand. I write with my right hand. So that's just kind of a multi-sensory approach. You're teaching a societal norm of using your right hand. You're teaching which hand is the right hand, and you're adding that scent and that tactile sense to it. So those are some ideas that I would recommend, and you can decide how you want to use those. And so we've got a visual model, we've got using a multisensory approach and doing some drills and exercises, and then a motoric kind of approach would be teaching the letters using motor memory. So you probably know that there are letters that all kind of start with the letter C. When I say start with the letter C, meaning you draw the letter C, and then you can change each of these C's into these letters. And so if you teach the letters in clusters of the way that they're formed, that may help. So if you teach them that like A and D is a letter that's formed by making the letter C first, they may be able to remember that. They may not. The problem is that they're going to have to remember that D is the one that starts with the letter C. But teaching it from a motor memory point of view is what I'm getting at there. So there's really no easy answer with this one, unfortunately, but those are some of the strategies I would recommend from a uniquely OT point of view. Thanks for watching.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thanks again.